Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Jorcer's Spellbook. Today, I'm joined by Matt Holmberg, and he would like to talk about the spell Mold Earth. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Robert. Hi,
I like
Matt
your
Holmberg.
hi. I like your wizard hat.
Nice.
It's better than mine.
Wizardy, felty. It's green.
Yeah, mine. It gets the job done. Makes me look like a douche. All right. Before we get to chatting, I'm going to read the spell description. This is Mold Earth. This is another one from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, if I'm correct. All right. This is another cantrip level spell. Casting time 1 action with a 30-foot range. The only one component, somatic. You don't even have to speak for this one.
Important.
The duration is instantaneous. The school is transmutation. And the spell description is as follows. You choose a portion of dirt or stone that you can see within range and that fits within a 5-foot cube. You manipulate it in one of the following ways. Way number 1. If you target an area of loose earth, you can instantaneously excavate it, move it along the ground, and deposit it up to 5 feet away. This movement doesn't have enough force to cause damage. Way number 2. You cause shapes, colors, or both to appear on the dirt or stone, spelling out words, creating images, or shaping patterns. The changes last for 1 hour. And way number 3. If the dirt or stone you target is on the ground, you cause it to become difficult terrain. Alternatively, you can cause the ground to become normal terrain if it is already difficult terrain. This change lasts for 1 hour. Finally, if you cast this spell multiple times, you can have no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time, and you can dismiss such as an effect as an action. All right, that's Mold Earth.
That's Mold Earth. A couple of little things in the description there that are of note. One is loose earth. That's going to be kind of subjective, I guess. Like some people go, well, hard packed dirt, like on the middle of a trail, isn't loose. The way I play and the way everybody I think generally plays is dirt. They mean dirt, ground dirt.
If
you're going by the letter of the law, like loose dirt, you'd have to have like tilled soil or like a dugout, like kind of pile. So that's one bit, and the other one is the instantaneous effect. The instantaneous effect, you notice, remains. That's the first one. You can make a 5-foot cube disappear and reappear somewhere else, kind of like Minecraft or something. The other two,
I just took it as like digging a hole and shoving the excavated dirt to the side. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, you just make a 5-foot cube in the ground and plop. There's a pile of dirt next to it. It says it kind of slides over, doesn't like levitate and plop out or anything like that. But the other ones, the cause shapes, colors, or both to appear in stone, spelling out words, and making stone or dirt into difficult terrain. Those are gonna last for an hour. So the first one, I think probably the most obvious thing you think. First of all, it's not really a great combat spell, right? You're not gonna. It says right on the bottom, not really a way to do much damage with it. If you're running away from somebody, you can make difficult terrain. That's pretty great. That's cool. You can definitely escape some people or make it hard for somebody to
bury someone alive.
Now that's definitely the trick, right? The number one trick, and when I play with it is, you either have a hole and see if you can get somebody to go inside of it, and then instantaneously cover them with 5 feet of dirt. And I remember looking it up in a game one time. A cubic foot of dirt weighs about 80 pounds. So we're talking about, a large weight of dirt. If you're in a 5-foot cube hole and somebody puts 5 feet of dirt on you and you're in there, like it would take a Herculean strength check to burst free of it. But it's D&D, so people can do that.
Sure.
So yeah, you definitely make a hole appear, make multiple hole appears. Since the first one doesn't disappear after an hour, to make a 5-foot cube of earth disappear, you can essentially kind of tunnel with it, which is very, very useful. That's a good one. if in combat, like if you were running away from someone and you said, okay, I'll make that difficult terrain so they can't, pursue me faster over it. That's one thing. But a trick that I saw somebody do in a game a couple of times, which is they would hold an action and wait for someone to try to approach them, and then zing, a 5-foot cube of empty space of dirt opens up in front of them. Generally, the way we played it is they'd make a dexterity save DC of the spellcaster's spell save DC, and or they fall in. Now, if you held your action, that means you're going to get to go again before that guy gets to go. Then you can refill the hole with him in it, which is pretty ace. It's a pretty powerful little trick.
This is not I didn't think of this as a combat spell, but yeah, you're making a good argument there.
Yeah, that's definitely a powerful one, but it's like all cantrips and all spells in the game, right? I think it's very written in a like letter of the law, black and white. This is what the spell does, but it's D&D and it's magic. You should try to pull and expand on that and be kind of liberal. Yeah.
No,
definitely what's that?
I'm saying it's got 3 effects here, 3 possible effects. You talked about the difficult terrain. You talked about excavating. What about this other one with the shapes and colors and stuff? Is that something you use this spell for?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
As one of my players, Bob, is so fond of doing is drawing dicks on things, and that spell will allow you to do that anywhere you want to.
I can draw a dick in the dirt with a stick.
Well, yeah, but not instantly.
No,
and not from 30 feet away.
No, that's true. That takes talent.
So you can, like, leaving marks on a wall could be handy in a maze, for instance.
Yeah, but that's other spells do similar things to that.
That's true. This aspect of the spell isn't quite as useful, I don't think, as the kind of
seems kind of random
moving earth around part. Those parts definitely have quite a bit more. Let me look at notes. Put outside. Draw scene, forging. Yeah, no, most of the effects that I find with it are the moving ground around parts.
When I first talked to you, I asked you, what spell would you like to talk about? And more than any other, you chose Mold Earth. Why is that?
I think the versatility of it, and at first glance, when you're looking at cantrips, a lot of times you're looking at things like, well, can I do damage with this, reoccurringly? Can I, is there real combat implications to it? And this one isn't. It's mostly all situational kind of things, like, covering an object. If you had something you needed to hide in a really fast hurry, you could throw something 5 feet to the ground and cover it up as if nothing was ever there.
Or there would be defensive implications as well. You could dig a trench pretty quickly. It's a cantrip.
That goes back to the digging earth part. Yeah, you could dig a foxhole. You could give yourself a bit of under the ground, but where the dirt you pulled out of the ground, you can also mound up in front of yourself and giving yourself cover, not only for you, but you could do it for multiple people.
Divert the water in a river or something.
Diverting water in river is a big one. Things like things
lava.
that are dependent on ground, like say a bunch of goblins in a tree and they're shooting down at you. You could say, I'm going to remove all the dirt out around the roots of that tree, and my barbarian friend over here can push on it. That's pretty good. I had a guy, Hootis, the druid in one of the games, had a blowgun, and he tied a bunch of weeds to the top, and he would make a 5-foot hole, jump in, and then cover himself, all except for basically a snorkel poking out with the weeds on top. It just kind of looked like a plant. And that was that's very useful. That's almost kind of like rope trick or something. You can effectively just disappear from the environment. That was pretty
as long as you got somebody to dig you out of there, like you said.
Well, no, you don't need to move your arms. All you need is a somatic component.
Well, no, that is a somatic component.
Oh, I thought it was a verbal. Oh, yeah. Well, leave room for your hands.
Recheck. No, it's somatic.
Yeah.
Leave some hand space in there.
Yeah. See, people put a big hole outside of like a tavern door. Then there was chaos inside. People went running out. There was a big pit they didn't expect. If you run through a door, you're thinking there's going to be solid ground there, and there isn't. That's That's sketchy. Grave robbing, you know,
Sure.
the always profitable hobby of grave robbing.
Seems like you could also undermine the structural integrity of buildings.
Totally, buildings, fences, or forts. Yeah, things that rely on the ground to be stable are subject to the old Mold Earth spell. Foraging, if you're using spell components, which I like to do. I don't know if you've ever had a game where people insisted on using spell components. I think vast majority of games don't use them, but if you are using them,
I did last week. I needed powdered iron and I didn't have any, so I ended up biting myself and using my blood, and DM allowed it.
That's one way to go. Yeah. Let me see. Do I have any other hiding, making a grave? Say you're out doing your murder hobo thing with your murder hobo friends, and the constabulary comes riding up on their big battle horses, and you don't want there to be bloody bodies everywhere. You can rapidly make bodies disappear with this spell.
Digging up graves.
Making graves.
Digging graves. Yeah. This is I can see why you picked this one now. This is incredibly versatile.
Lots of specific things. Somebody standing on a ledge, you can make the ground underneath them disappear. That's not going to make them just, fall to their death instantly. I mean, a good DM would probably say still get some kind of a save. And I recommend using your spell save DC for it, but it's subject. I've seen people running across a rope bridge one time that was tethered into the ground with a big kind of classic fantasy wood spike.
Sure.
I just make the dirt under that disappear and the rope bridge fell down. Yeah, very useful stuff. Situational, but fun. It's a very fun spell. You can kind of like minor illusion. You can look at your environment differently. You're like, how could I use this little thing? Yeah.
All right, great. Well, I guess we milked that one for all it's worth. Well, probably not, but we milked it pretty good. I'm going to call it there. That's Mold Earth, everyone.
Yeah.
Matt, tell us a little more about yourself. What do you do? Do you have anything you want to plug or promote?
I'm an artist. I do art for things, generally games. A lot of video games out there. Some you've probably seen or played in the past. The most current game I just finished was a game called Space Otter Charlie with some old PopCap buddies, and it's out on Steam and on Switch. It's a 0G platformer. We were playing a little otter in space, and jump around, shoot things, collect stuff, and build better guns and solve puzzles. That's the most recent project, so I definitely say check that out. Other than that, just a lot of art out there. If you look up Matt Holmberg art, you'll see it.
Well, good. I hope you'll send me some links. I will put everything in the description of this video.
Yeah. Yep.
And and you had a wealth of knowledge about a lot of spells. I hope you'll join me on here again.
Oh, I would absolutely love to. Yeah, blabbing about D&D stuff is always fun.
Oh, I should promote my own stuff as well. I'm Robert Bevan. I write the Critical Failure or Caverns and Creatures series of stories, novels. Critical Failures. Go check that out.
Do it. They're I tell a lot of people, oh man, you got to read these really fun fantasy books, and only people I think will kind of get the humor and stuff. But honestly, the use of the kind of the D&D like magic and world and objects and ideas, in it are super well done. You can tell it was from somebody who plays. I really enjoyed that. There was a lot of stuff in there that I was like, yeah, holy crap, I never thought about doing that in a game. That's super good. The immovable rod was a great one, that was for sure. Killing the no spoilers, but yeah, that was I like that one very much.
All right, thanks. For all of you watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you again, Matt.
Yeah,
goodbye.
Thanks. See ya.